Welcome back to the David Pakman Show.
Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. After the show, make sure you're getting the new video of the bonus show. Another one of the new member benefits for David Pakman Show subscribers. You can find out everything at davidpakman.com/membership. You know, August was the best month in terms of new David Pakman Show members since the program launched. September potentially has the potential, as of where we are right now, to actually surpass August. And that would be big. That would be big, and certainly we're already going to be able to do some new, extra cool stuff in November and October as a result of the new memberships. It's fantastic.
Looking forward to it.
What do you have now? 3 million memberships?
Roughly.
Yeah. How do you afford that?
I can't really talk about that.
Okay. Hey, you know how we always talk about we're losing the war on drugs? In other words, we have overcrowded prisons. We still have incredibly high abuse rates for drugs, addiction rates, crime as a result of drugs, etc. We've talked about this so many times, Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I got an interesting email, though, from an audience member, Eric, who said, you know, when you talk about the war on drugs failing, it's actually not true. The war on drugs is a success. Hear me out. The purpose of the drug war never was to limit drug usage. Its purpose was to criminalize minority communities, for one, and that has been a massive success. We see that the vast majority of police in Black and Latino areas, while the majority of drug usage is in white areas. See the Partnership for a Drug-Free America for information. So if this is truly a war on drugs, then why aren't there thousands of police patrolling my community, and why are 1 out of every 3 black men in prison instead of 1 out of every 3 white men, which statistically would make more sense? So this is an interesting concept. Maybe the drug war is being won in the sense that we have huge government spending on alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. DEA, FBI is involved in drug stuff as well. We have drug smuggling as a business that is taking place. We have people in prisons, many of which are for-profit prisons as a result of nonviolent drug-related offenses. So it's true, if we for a second think about the fact that maybe we don't believe the idea of the war on drugs is just to limit the usage of drugs. It's to create this prison industrial complex, also including government agencies, operations, staff, programs. Maybe the war on drugs is actually a success based on what it is actually meant to do.
Right. Well, then it's not really a war, is it? Because war, by definition, you win or you lose, right?
Okay.
So I would say, is this a success or a failure?
Has the war on drugs succeeded or failed? Well, that's what I'm saying. We were assuming that a successful war on drugs means there's no more drugs being used or there's no more drugs around.
Right.
But what I'm saying is I think we've been looking at it wrong. I think a successful war on drugs from the point of view of the government agencies that are involved in fighting the so-called war,
It's prosperous.
it's actually prosperous. People are making money. Lawyers, prisons, the prison industrial complex is doing incredibly well, as we see from prison overcrowding. And we also have what some would consider to be a very racial or racist component to the war on drugs, which is a significant overrepresentation in prisons of minorities, particularly Black and Latinos. So do you think the war on drugs is actually winning, Natan? I mean, do you even believe when we always talk about the war on drugs is a war to stop the usage and availability of drugs? That just doesn't seem to be the case. He's not even on mic. It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know really what to say. I mean, if it's the case that some people are planning, the people who planned the drug war, their intention was to imprison minorities, that's a pretty big, that's a conspiracy.
Then it's a huge success.
I mean, that's a pretty big accusation. Either it's true or it's not. I mean,
I don't think that it's like that. I think it doesn't have to be that people sit down and say, let's put black people in prison because that'll make others feel safer. I think it's implicit in the discussions about, quote, cleaning up the streets. All of those things, it's under the radar. It's not so much explicit. So I don't know that it's an accusation that can be proven or disproven per se. It's what's implied by it.
So what can we do to stop drug use if that's what,
Stopping drug
supposedly
use
the
will
public
never
wants?
happen. It's an unwinnable war.
I don't know. That's the next question.
Stopping drug use should never be the goal.
We will address what, if anything, can be done to stop drug use, and should that be a goal. But please email me about it, david@davidpakman.com, and we'll address it on a future show.